G'day folks, Dwayne here from oztooltalk. Got another review for you. Some days tool reviews can get a little dull when you're doing them as often as we are, and especially the video editing and such. Today though is not one of those days. I've got here the Dewalt FLEXVOLT grinder. That's a 54 volt unit, DCG414. In America they call it a 60 volt max. Here in Australia and in Europe and stuff, 54 volts. There's not much to say in terms of specs for a grinder. It's got 9,000 no load RPM, but no load doesn't mean squat. And it's a 5-inch unit. Takes your FLEXVOLT batteries. At the moment we've got these 6 amp hour batteries. Well, that's 6 amp hour at 18 volt. It's a 2 amp hour for a 54 volt, which is a good reminder for me to tell you that it's totally backwards compatible with all the 18 volt tools. This is the SDS, brushless SDS, so 54 volt battery on there, runs at 18 volt as well. So I've already used it just a little bit. I cheated, and I'm pretty excited so far. So I'm going to go out, do some tough work on it, grinding, cutting, all sorts of things, and push it to the limit. I'm also going to compare it against a couple of Dewalt's electric grinders because they're saying that it's got corded-like performance. So we want to see if that's really true. Anyway, hang around, we'll do some testing, and then I'll come back and tell you if this tool is worth the $700 that you'll pay for it in a kit. Let's go. So these are a bunch of Rio mesh sheets I have at my house. They're SL81, which means 8mm thickness with 100mm spacing. So pretty heavy duty sort of stuff. It was left over from one of my job sites, and I'm going to use it to reinforce footpath all around my backyard. It's totally overkill for that, but I've got it and I tend to do everything overkill anyway. So basically about half of these sheets, because the full sheets were cut into quarters for me, about half of these are a little bit too wide. So I'm just cutting them down, and I'm doing it as fast as I can basically, which meant that I did destroy a few discs along the way. I'm just using 1mm cut-off discs. So yeah, there were 16 quartered sheets here. I've cut down 8 of them. After I did these 8 sheets, I did another 45 cuts just to run the battery down in full, which meant I nearly did 5 sheets in total, which is about 280 cuts. Now I'm going to put the FLEXVOLT grinder up against the range of electric grinders to see where it fits in. This is a 60 grit FLEXVOLT ceramic flap disc, and this is an old strut from a pipe laying trench shield. This is Dewalt's 900 watt 5-inch basic electric grinder. I've put it in double speed here just so we don't have to wait too long. And it's not too hard to make this unit bulk down. I can hear it slowing down quite a lot as I push. It's actually got a little bit of an advantage too, because I'm just putting the same used flat disc straight onto the FLEXVOLT grinder. Straight away I can feel and hear that the 54 volt grinder is just much more powerful than the little 900 watt unit. So I actually ended up using doing the rust removal for a little bit longer with the FLEXVOLT, just because I can't count in my head very well. But you can see it just removes so much more quickly than the small electric grinder. Now we're going to do some heavy duty cutting against a bigger grinder, Dewalt's 1200 watt 5-inch grinder. This is 6mm thick steel angle, 3-inch I believe, and I'm using 1-inch cutting discs for the task. I could feel it as well as time it now in post-production. The FLEXVOLT definitely more powerful for that task. This is 20mm rebar, another offcut from work, and this, even more so than the angle, really showed that the FLEXVOLT is definitely more powerful than the 1200 watt electric grinder. Just did it so easily. Now we're back to the rusty strut, but this time I'm pitting the FLEXVOLT against the very formidable 1500 watt variable speed grinder from Dewalt. This thing's a real monster, and once again I've given it the advantage by using it with a brand new disc. That's the 6mm grinding wheel, the ceramic one, FLEXVOLT wheel. So the FLEXVOLT's got the second-hand disc here, and you can kind of feel that it doesn't bite as much as it did when it was brand new, and not quite removing the same amount of material as the 1500 watt electric in that test. Now we've got a big old piece of I-beam, 14mm steel flanges across the top there, and I'm just trying to put a bevel on it. It's the same grinding wheel, the same units. Just going to see which one can take more material off. I actually got the calipers out at the end of this test just to measure the size of the bevel that I put on each, and they were identical. These grinders took off the same amount of steel in their 20 seconds each, so very, very comparable power. Now I'm just having a bit of fun. Got another bit of pipe offcut from work, 10mm thick with the epoxy coating on the inside and out. And this is a 2.8mm grinding or cutting wheel. Certainly not making it easy for the grinder. I have sped this up double speed, but yeah, just chowing through it. So much fun to use. How impressive is that? Going toe to toe with the 1500 watt grinder on a battery. I am so impressed. Most cordless grinders to me are just cut-off tools, you know, where you might do a tiny bit of grinding, but this is a genuine grinder. You can use it for any task you want. I really, really like it. The build quality feels really nice, and the ergonomics are great. It's got Dewalt's normal handle that you find on all their drills and such. A nice, really comfortable side handle. A 2-piece trigger to make sure you don't set it off accidentally. The DCG414, this unit, is groundbreaking. A lot of guys, even in metal fabrication workshops, would love to have this tool. You're going to get about 15 minutes of hard grinding work done on this, or 30 to 40 minutes of hard cutting work. And this fast charger is going to be able to take one of these batteries from empty to full in about 45 minutes. So you're really not going to have a lot of downtime, unless you're using your grinder absolutely constantly. Out on the job site or out in rural areas, farms, that sort of thing, this can totally change the way you work. To not have to lug a generator around or long extension leads, it's just going to make you so much faster, and this tool is just great. I'm not going to keep a 1mm cutoff disc like I usually do on my cordless grinders for this tool. This 3mm one is going to stay because it's got the power to drive that, which means I can do a little bit of grinding and basic cutting work without having to change discs around. So I really like that. It's a brushless tool, which means you've got no maintenance of brushes, and Dewalt's FLEXVOLT line, I'm pretty sure they're all brushless, are also accompanied by some accessories. So for most of the tests today, I used the ceramic FLEXVOLT discs. They got flat discs and grinding discs and cut-off discs, and they performed really well. I'm really looking forward to reviewing more in the FLEXVOLT line. Mike's currently got the circular saw, and if that is anything like this one, then that's two of the most important high-powered tools for me that I no longer need a lead for. So this FLEXVOLT line looks to be pretty incredible. I believe next year we're going to see large miter saw. We've already got the table saw out, and probably bigger batteries, 9 amp hour batteries I think as well. So look, there's big things ahead. I can't see any tool knocking this one off as a flagship, to be honest, even though it's the first one I reviewed. It's such an incredible grinder that I won't be parting ways with this one for a very long time, I would imagine. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you have any questions, please post them down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you like what we do, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.